Welcome to Monk's Temple. Tonight is not about achieving anything. It's not about reaching a special state of calm or finally solving the problems that have followed you from daylight. Tonight is about something far simpler, yet surprisingly elusive: remembering how to stop. How to lay down the invisible weight you've been carrying in your mind, the unfinished conversations, the unanswered questions, the silent rehearsals for tomorrow. You lie down physically, but your awareness remains upright, vigilant, as if standing guard over a day that has already ended. Buddhist wisdom gently points out that this vigilance, though it feels like responsibility, is actually the source of your restlessness. The mind confuses thinking with doing, worrying with preparing, holding on with staying safe. But true safety, the kind that invites deep rest, comes not from gripping tighter, but from learning the art of release. The ancient teachers observed that suffering doesn't begin with the first moment of pain. Pain is a natural part of a sensitive, living experience. Suffering begins in the next moment, when the mind refuses to let the painful moment pass. It grabs hold, replays it, analyzes it, resists it. That resistance creates a second layer of experience, a layer of struggle on top of the original sensation. That struggle is what wearies you. That struggle is what keeps you awake. So tonight, we will not add another layer. We will not struggle to fall asleep. We will practice subtraction. We will gently, patiently, subtract the effort, the control, the need to make anything happen. And in that space of effortless being, sleep often finds its way in, as naturally as twilight gives way to night. Let's begin by settling into the body. Not trying to relax it, but simply noticing it. Feeling the points of contact where your body meets the bed. The weight of your heels, your calves, your back, your shoulders. There is no right way for the body to be. It simply is, heavy and present. Allow it to be exactly as it is. Your only task is to notice. I'd like to share a memory with you. Years ago, I spent a season living in a small hermitage near a vast, silent lake. Each evening, I would watch the surface of the water. When the wind was still, the lake would become a perfect mirror, reflecting the sky and the trees along its shore with such clarity it was hard to tell where the world ended and the reflection began. But when the wind picked up, the surface would break into 1,000 chaotic ripples. The reflection would shatter into fragments, and all you could see was the agitated movement of the water itself. One restless evening, feeling my own mind like that wind-torn surface, I had a simple realization. The depth of the lake was never disturbed. 10 feet down, 50 feet down, the water was still, cool, and dark. The storm was only on the surface. My awareness, I realized, was like the depth of the lake. My thoughts and worries were the surface ripples. They could be choppy and chaotic, but the depth of my being, the silent, witnessing awareness, remained untouched, undisturbed, and utterly calm. Buddhism teaches this principle of non-identification. You are not the surface ripples. You are the deep, still water. When you believe you are the ripples, every little wind of thought feels like a personal storm. When you remember you are the depth, you can observe the storm with a quiet curiosity, knowing it cannot reach the peace that lies beneath. Tonight, as thoughts arise, and they will, see them as surface ripples on the lake of your mind. Notice them. You might even label them gently, planning, remembering, worrying. But do not dive into them. Do not follow the ripple out to its edge. Instead, feel your awareness sinking beneath them, down into the calm, dark depths of your own presence. Rest there. The ripples can do what they will. They belong to the wind. You belong to the depth. If this practice of finding depth brings you a moment of peace, consider welcoming more of this into your life by subscribing to Monk's Temple. Your subscription helps this digital sanctuary grow, allowing us to create more of these guided journeys into rest. Now, let's return to the practice. One of the most exhausting habits of the mind is its constant commentary. It narrates your experience, judges it, compares it, and worries about it. It's as if you have a radio playing softly in the background at all times, and at night, when the world gets quiet, that radio seems to get louder. The mind mistakes this commentary for thinking, and thinking for being alive. It fears that if the radio goes silent, somehow, you will go silent. But here is a secret Buddhist wisdom holds: the radio is not you. You are the one who can hear the radio. You are the spacious room in which the sound plays. The room does not become the music. The room is simply aware of it. When a thought says, "You didn't do enough today," that is just a sentence playing on the radio. It is a pattern of sound, arising from habit, fatigue, or old conditioning. It is not a truth you must obey or argue with. Try this now. Instead of listening to what your thoughts are saying, listen to the fact that they are speaking. Hear them as sounds in the mind. As mental noise. Notice their tone. Is it urgent? Is it weary? Is it sharp? Just listen to the quality of the voice, not the story it is telling. In doing this, you step out of the story and into the awareness that hears it. And awareness is always quiet. It is the silent background against which all sound appears. I remember a potter I met in a countryside village. He worked at his wheel for hours, his hands covered in clay, his focus complete. I asked him how he knew when a pot was perfectly centered. He smiled and said, "I don't listen to my thoughts telling me it's crooked. I feel it in my hands. The second I start thinking about it, I lose the feel. The thinking is the distraction. The feeling in my hands is the truth." His art came from a place before thought, a wordless intelligence in his body. Your ability to rest comes from a similar place, a wordless intelligence in your nervous system that knows how to sleep. Your thinking about sleep is the distraction. The thought, "I need to sleep," is the potter's anxious mind telling him the clay is off-center. It only pulls him further away from the subtle, guiding feel. Tonight, let go of thinking about sleep. Return to the feeling of your body resting. The weight. The warmth. The gentle rhythm of your breath. That is your center. That is where peace is found. We carry an immense but hidden burden, the burden of self-management. All day, we manage an identity. We decide what to say, how to act, who to be. We maintain a continuous story of me. And when we lie down, the manager often doesn't clock out. It stays on duty, reviewing the day's performance, preparing for tomorrow's meetings. This is why you can feel so tired even as you lie still. You are still working. You are the sole employee of a 24-hour operation called My Life. Buddhism invites you to see that this self you are managing is not a fixed, solid thing. It is a collection of habits, memories, and roles that come together under certain conditions. At night, those conditions change. The need for that particular collection to hold its shape dissolves. You are allowed to let the collection scatter, like leaves falling from a tree. The tree does not die when the leaves fall. It rests. In spring, new leaves will come, different yet familiar. So tonight, practice unmanaging. You are not required to hold your story together. You are not required to be consistent, coherent, or even recognizable to yourself. You can simply be a field of sensation, warmth, coolness, pressure, breath. You don't need to be anyone in particular to rest. In fact, it's easier to rest when you are no one in particular. The deepest sleep you've ever had was a sleep where you were not present at all. And you woke up, didn't you? The manager can take the night off. The company will still be there in the morning. Let's speak about a common but subtle form of suffering, the suffering of anticipation. The mind is rarely here. It is usually there. In a future that hasn't happened, preparing for a challenge, solving a problem that is still just a shadow of a possibility. This forward-leaning posture is useful when you need to cross a street or plan a meal. But at night, it becomes a form of tension. You are braced for a tomorrow that is not yet real, and in bracing, you exhaust the resources of the present. Buddhist wisdom teaches the profound power of presence, not as a special state to achieve, but as the simple ground of being. When you are fully present, there is no problem to solve. In this exact moment, as you listen, are you in danger? Is anything required of you? The answer is almost certainly no. The body is safe. The mind, however, may be projecting itself into an imaginary future where danger exists. It is living a phantom life, and paying for it with real energy, real peace. The practice for now is to call the mind back from its travels. Not with force, but with a gentle, persistent kindness. Each time you notice the mind has wandered into tomorrow, acknowledge it. Ah, there you go, planning again. And then, like calling a wandering pet back to the porch, invite your attention back to a single, simple anchor, the sensation of the breath moving in and out of your body. You don't need to change the breath. Just feel it. The cool air entering, the warm air leaving. This is the undeniable reality of now. The future is a story. The breath is a fact. Rest with the fact. I recall walking through an ancient forest with a teacher. We walked in silence for a long time. Finally, he stopped, pointed to a giant, gnarled tree, and said, "This tree does not worry about the next storm. It does not regret the last drought. It spends no energy anticipating the fall of its leaves. It is simply here, drawing nourishment from this patch of earth, reaching for that slice of sky. Its entire life is an unwavering yes to the present conditions. That is its strength. That is why it has stood for 500 years. Our mental suffering," he explained, "comes from our constant, quiet, no to the present. We want it to be different. We want to be elsewhere. That no creates friction, and friction creates heat, and that inner heat is what we feel as stress, as restlessness. Tonight, practice being like the tree. Your patch of earth is this bed. Your slice of sky is this dark, quiet room. There is nothing else you need to reach for. Nothing else you need to become. Simply be here, rooted in sensation, allowing the conditions of the night to be exactly as they are. Say a silent yes to the weight of your body, to the rhythm of your heart, to the quiet hum of the world at rest. In that yes, the friction stops. The inner heat dissipates. And what remains is a cool, quiet peace. Now, let's explore a beautiful and misunderstood concept, emptiness. In the West, we often hear emptiness and think of void, lack, or loneliness. In Buddhism, emptiness has a different meaning. It does not mean nothing exists. It means nothing exists independently, permanently, or separately. Everything is interconnected, fluid, and dependent on causes and conditions. Your restless mind is not a solid, broken thing. It is a temporary pattern of energy, thoughts, and habits, arising because of fatigue, stimulation, or old patterns. Seeing its emptiness means seeing its fluid, changing nature. You are not stuck with it. It is a passing weather system in the sky of your awareness. This understanding is a key to release. If a thought is not a solid truth but a passing cloud, you don't need to build a house under it. You can watch it drift by. If an emotion is not your permanent state but a wave of energy, you don't need to drown in it. You can feel its crest and know it will subside. Empathy is the spacious sky that holds all weather without being damaged by any of it. I remember a story told to me by a fisherman who lived his whole life on a rugged coast. He said the worst storms he ever faced weren't out at sea, but in the harbor. When a storm would blow in, the small, tightly moored boats would smash against the docks and each other, sustaining terrible damage. But the older, wiser fishermen kept their boats in the main channel, with long, loose anchor lines. When the storm hit, those boats would swing wildly on their long lines, dancing with the wind and waves, but they would never collide. They had space to move. They rode out the storm by yielding to it, not by resisting it. Your mind in the night can be like those boats in the harbor, tied too short and tight to the fixed docks of your worries and plans. Every little wave of thought makes you crash against them. The practice of emptiness is like letting out a long, loose anchor line. Give your thoughts space. Let them swing. Let them be wild. Don't tie them tightly to your sense of self. With that space, they can move without causing damage. They can arise and pass without pulling you from your mooring. You remain anchored in deep awareness, while the storm of thinking dances on the surface. So tonight, feel the emptiness, the spacious, open, interconnected nature of your experience. Thoughts come, thoughts go. Sensations arise, sensations fade. None of it is solid. None of it is you. You are the vast harbor, capable of holding it all without being disturbed by any of it. Rest as that harbor. Deep, still, and impossibly spacious. Another source of nighttime tension is the myth of completion. The mind believes it cannot rest until things are finished. The project must be planned, the conversation must be resolved, the problem must be solved. It creates an endless to-do list for itself and then tries to work on it in the dark. But life, by its very nature, is incomplete. Every ending is also a beginning. Every solution reveals a new mystery. To demand completion before rest is to demand that a river stop flowing before you drink from it. You will wait forever. Buddhist wisdom shifts the goal from completion to engagement. Not engagement with thinking, but engagement with presence. Can you be fully engaged with the experience of resting? Can you be completely involved in the feeling of the pillow against your cheek? This is a kind of completion that is always available. The completion of being fully here. I learned this from watching a master weaver at her loom. Her work was intricate, beautiful, and famously never finished. She would work on a large tapestry for years. I asked her if it was frustrating to never see the final picture. She laughed. The final picture is an idea in the mind, she said. But the thread in my hand, the texture of the wool, the click of the shuttle, this is real. This is what I love. If I only worked for the final picture, I would hate most of my life, waiting for a future moment. But I love the weaving itself. So my life, while I weave, is complete in every moment. Your life tonight is the tapestry in progress. The threads are your breath, your sensations, your fleeting thoughts. You may not see the final picture, and you don't need to. Can you love the texture of this moment? The click of the shuttle, as one breath follows another. Can you find completeness not in a resolved future, but in the rich, unfinished reality of now? When you do, the mind's desperate need to finish things relaxes. It realizes it is already home, already complete in its engagement with the present thread. So, release the burden of completion. Nothing needs to be finished for you to be at peace. The day's work is done because the day is over. The night's work is simply to rest. Engage fully with that. Let us explore a quiet but powerful force that shapes our nights, the force of habit. The mind is a creature of pattern. It follows well-worn grooves of thinking, worrying, and planning. When you lie down, it naturally travels these familiar roads. You don't decide to start worrying, you find yourself already halfway down that path, because your mind has walked it 1,000 times before. Buddhism pays deep attention to these patterns, called sankharas or mental formations. They are not you, but they run like software in the background, creating the experience of your mind. The good news is this: habits are powerful, but they are not permanent. They are sustained by attention and repetition. Each time you follow a worried thought to its conclusion, you deepen the groove. Each time you step off the path, you allow the groove to grow fainter. The practice for tonight is not to stop the habits from arising. They will, like old friends knocking at the door. The practice is to change your relationship with them. To see the habit as a habit, not as a command. To hear the knock, but not feel compelled to answer. I remember visiting an old clockmaker's workshop. He repaired antique timepieces, and the walls were lined with clocks of all sizes, each ticking at a slightly different rhythm. When I first walked in, the sound was chaotic, almost overwhelming. But after sitting quietly with the old man for an hour, something shifted. I stopped hearing individual ticks and tocks. Instead, I heard a single, complex, beautiful symphony of time. The individual habits of each clock were still there, but they had blended into a harmonious whole. He smiled and said, "You get used to it. After a while, the noise just becomes the sound of things working." Your mind's habits are like those clocks. Each worry, each plan, each memory has its own rhythm, its own tick. Right now, they may sound chaotic, demanding your attention. But what if you could stop trying to silence each one, and instead, let them become part of the background symphony of the night? You don't have to follow each tick. You can let them all tick away, knowing they are just old mechanisms running down, doing what they were wound up to do. Your job is not to stop the clocks, but to relax in the room with them, until their noise simply becomes part of the music of being alive. Now, let's consider a different kind of anchor: gratitude. This may seem separate from Buddhist sleep practice, but at its core, gratitude is a profound form of non-attachment. It is the heart's way of saying, "This is enough." When you are grateful for the simple fact of a roof, a bed, a breath, you are pulling your mind away from what is lacking and placing it squarely on what is present. You are accepting the sufficiency of this moment. And a mind that feels, "this is enough," has no need to race forward in search of something more. It can rest. We are not talking about grandiose gratitude. We are talking about the microscopic texture of now. The softness of a blanket. The faint scent of clean sheets. The distant, muffled sound of the world at rest. Can you find one thing in your immediate sensory field to be grateful for? Not as a mental exercise, but as a sincere feeling. Let that feeling warm a small space in your chest. Gratitude is a softening agent. It melts the hard edges of striving. It tells the nervous system, all is well. We have what we need. There is a story of a monk who lived in a bare cave with only a bowl and a mat. A visitor, feeling pity for his simplicity, asked, "How can you be happy with so little?" The monk replied, "You see little. I see abundance. I have a cave that keeps me dry, a bowl that feeds me, a mat that cushions me from the earth. The entire mountain is my garden, the sky is my ceiling, and the silence is my companion. My wealth is infinite." The visitor looked around and saw only rock. The monk saw everything. His gratitude was not for objects, but for the very fact of existence itself. Tonight, practice being the monk in the cave. Your cave is this room. Your bowl is the breath that nourishes you. Your mat is this bed. The wealth of the night, the silence, the darkness, the safety, is infinite. Feel the abundance of simply being here, alive, and held. In that feeling of enough, the mind's restless search comes to a peaceful end. We must also gently address the weight of self-judgment. Often, our restlessness is compounded by a secondary layer of frustration. Why can't I sleep? What's wrong with me? I should be better at this by now. This inner critic is perhaps the most exhausting roommate of all. Buddhism encourages a practice called maitri, or loving kindness directed at oneself. It is the radical notion that you deserve your own compassion, especially when you struggle. The critic speaks from a place of old conditioning, from messages absorbed long ago that you must perform, achieve, and control to be worthy. But worthiness is not an achievement. It is the inherent right of a conscious being. You are worthy of rest simply because you exist. You do not need to earn it through a perfectly quiet mind. So when the critic pipes up tonight, meet it not with argument, but with a silent offering of kindness. You might mentally whisper, "May I be kind to myself in this moment. May I accept this restlessness. May I be at peace." You are not trying to make the critic go away. You are surrounding it with a field of compassion so vast that its sharp voice loses its power to wound. It becomes just another sound in the night. I recall a gardener who specialized in reviving neglected plots of land. He showed me a patch of hard, dry soil, tangled with weeds. "Most people want to rip the weeds out straight away," he said. "But that just disturbs the soil and leaves it wounded. I come each day and just water the ground. I don't fight the weeds. I just nourish the earth." Slowly, the soil softens. It becomes receptive. Then, and only then, can I gently encourage new growth. The weeds, without a fight to sustain them, often just fade away. Your self-criticism is like those weeds. Fighting it directly gives it energy. Instead, Water the ground of your being with compassion. Soften the soil of your heart with kindness. In that softened, nourished state, the harsh thoughts often lose their grip all on their own. Finally, let's return to the body, but with a new intention, the intention of listening. We've talked about feeling sensations. Now, practice listening to your body as you would listen to a wise friend telling a slow, quiet story. What is it saying? Not in words, but in whispers of tension, sighs of release, the gentle pulse of blood. Your body is not just a thing you carry, it is an intelligent, living process that knows how to heal, restore, and rest. Your thinking mind has been giving it orders all day. Now, let the body have the floor. Listen to its intelligence. Feel the subtle, automatic adjustments it makes to find comfort. The tiny shift of a hip, the deepening of a breath as you pay attention. This is the body's wisdom at work. Your only job is to get out of the way and listen with appreciation. As you listen, you may notice a natural wave of relaxation spreading on its own, without any command from you. This is the gift of surrender. You are allowing the body's innate wisdom to lead you into sleep. Let's speak about a force more powerful than any single thought, the energy of wanting. Not just wanting things, but the subtle, constant hum of wanting experience to be different than it is. We want the mind to be quiet. We want sleep to come. We want to feel peaceful. This wanting is so natural, so ingrained, that we often don't even recognize it as the source of tension. Buddhism calls this tanha, craving, thirst. And it teaches that the end of suffering is found in the stilling of this thirst. Right now, beneath your awareness, there is likely a quiet wanting for this practice to work, for rest to finally take over. See if you can feel it. A gentle leaning forward in the mind, a hope, an expectation. Now, experiment with letting that want soften. Not by pushing it away, but by simply acknowledging its presence and then relaxing the mental muscle that is reaching for a future state. Let the wanting be there, but stop feeding it with your attention. Let it sit in the background, like a child who has finally stopped tugging on your sleeve. In the space where that wanting relaxes, a deep, natural ease often rushes in. This is not the ease you wanted, it is the ease that was always here, underneath the wanting. I remember a long walk in a desert during a period of great personal thirst, not just for water, but for answers, for change. I came upon a dried-up riverbed, its parched earth cracked into a million patterns. My guide, a local elder, pointed to it and said, "See this?" The river did not disappear because it wanted to be elsewhere. The water stopped flowing because the season changed. The riverbed is not craving water. It is simply being a riverbed in the dry season. It is patient. It knows the rains will return not because it wants them, but because that is the nature of cycles. He poured a little water from his canteen onto the dust. It vanished instantly. Trying to force peace when the mind is in a dry season is like this, he said. It is wasted effort. Better to be the riverbed. To be patient, empty, and open. To know your own nature is to be receptive, not demanding. That night, I slept on the hard ground of that riverbed, and my sleep was deep and dreamless. I had stopped trying to pour the canteen of my effort onto the dry earth of my mind. I simply became the open space, and rest flowed into me. Let's apply this to a very common experience, the frustration with time. How long have I been lying here? It's so late. I only have a few hours left. This relationship with time is a tyrant. It turns the sanctuary of your bed into a counting house, where the currency of minutes and hours is spent with anxious calculation. Buddhist wisdom invites you into timelessness. Not as a metaphysical idea, but as a present moment experience. In the reality of direct sensation, there is no clock. There is only this breath. And this one. And this one. Each breath is a complete universe, with a beginning, a middle, and an end. When you rest in the cycle of a single breath, you step out of the river of time and into the ocean of now. Feel your next breath begin. Follow it all the way in. Pause at the subtle, silent crest. Follow it all the way out. Pause in the hollow at the end. This whole cycle is a lifetime. When the next breath begins, it is a new universe. Stay here, in this breath-sized eternity. Let the concept of an hour dissolve. Let the pressure of before dawn melt away. There is only this eternal rhythm, and you are floating within it. In this breath-sized now, there is no hurry. There is no lateness. There is only presence. I want to tell you a story about a bell. In the monastery where I trained, there was a large, bronze bell that was struck only at dawn and dusk. The bell ringer was an old man with the calmest eyes I've ever seen. I asked him his secret. He said, "I do not ring the bell. I become the invitation for the bell to sound. I lift the striker, but I do not swing it. I let gravity do the work. My job is just to get out of the way and listen." He demonstrated. He lifted the heavy wooden striker and then simply released his muscles. It fell in a perfect, unhurried arc bong. The sound wasn't loud, it was vast. It filled the courtyard and then kept going, spreading out into the valley. "You see," he whispered as the sound faded. "The most beautiful sound comes from not striking. It comes from letting go. Your mind is always trying to strike the bell of sleep. It swings effort, forces relaxation. All you get is a harsh, shallow clang of tension. Let go of the striker. Let the natural weight of your tiredness fall into the moment. The sleep that comes from that release is like this bell's sound, deep, vast, and it will carry you. Tonight, you are the bell ringer. Your intention is the bell. Let go of the striker. Stop trying to make sound happen. Simply allow the deep, resonant tone of rest to arise from the silence of your own release. We often think of peace as a blank slate, an empty mind. But that is another form of wanting for nothingness. True peace, as Buddhism describes it, is not emptiness of experience, but peace with experience. It is the capacity of your awareness to contain whatever arises, a noisy thought, an ache in the shoulder, a passing emotion, without declaring war on any of it. Your awareness is like the clear glass of a window. Rain can streak it, dust can settle on it, but the glass itself is not damaged. It remains clear, capable of letting light pass through. The weather outside is not the problem. The problem is the mind that keeps trying to polish the glass in a storm, frustrated by every new drop or speck. So, let the weather of your mind be what it is. A storm of worry. A drizzle of memory. A gust of planning. Your awareness is the window. You are not the weather. You are the clear, open space through which the weather is seen. Rest is that clear space. The peace is not in changing the weather, it is in knowing yourself to be untouched by it. I will leave you with a simple image for this part of our journey. Imagine your mind as a snow globe that has been shaken vigorously. The water is cloudy, the flakes are swirling in a chaotic blizzard. This is the state of clinging and wanting. Now, set the snow globe down on a steady surface. Do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just watch. Slowly, inevitably, the flakes begin to settle. The water clears. The little scene inside becomes distinct and still. This settling is not something you do. It is what happens when you stop shaking the globe. Your practice tonight is to set the snow globe down. To stop shaking it with your efforts, your wants, your fights with time. Then, just watch with gentle interest as the flakes of your thoughts, one by one, settle to the bottom. The stillness was always there, waiting for you to cease the agitation. Let's consider a different kind of attachment, the attachment to knowing. The mind loves to know. It wants to understand why it's restless, what this emotion means, where that thought came from. It believes that if it can just figure everything out, then it can finally relax. This is the analyst, the detective of your inner world, and it works the night shift without pay. Buddhism gently suggests that this very need to know is a form of friction. It keeps the engine of the mind running, searching for clues in a mystery that doesn't require solving. The deepest rest often comes when you grant yourself the freedom to not know. To not understand why you feel the way you do. To not need a story for every sensation. You can simply let experience be mysterious, unexplained, and raw. Think of a small child looking at the night sky for the first time. They don't ask for the names of the constellations or the physics of starlight. They just gasp at the wonder of the sparkling darkness. Their mind is open, receptive, full of awe, not knowledge. That awe is a form of deep peace. Tonight, can you look at the contents of your own mind with that same childlike wonder? Oh, look at that bright streak of worry. There's a cluster of old memories twinkling over there. How interesting, how mysterious. You don't need to chart them. You can just behold them, and in that beholding, their power to disturb you lessens. They become part of the beautiful, inexplicable panorama of being alive, rather than problems to be solved. I recall a long train journey through a foreign country where I didn't speak the language. At first, it was frustrating. Announcements were noise, signs were cryptic patterns. I felt anxious and disconnected. Then, I gave up. I stopped trying to understand. I just looked out the window and watched the landscape roll by, fields, towns, mountains, all without a story. I listened to the sounds of the train and the conversations around me as pure music, without meaning. A profound peace settled over me. By relinquishing the need to know, I arrived at a direct, wordless intimacy with the experience itself. Your inner world tonight is that foreign landscape. You don't need to translate it. You can just be with it, intimately and wordlessly, and find peace in the not knowing. We often carry an invisible guest to bed, the guest of obligation. This is the feeling that you should be doing something other than resting. That there is unfinished business, that someone might need you, that you are being indulgent by lying here. This guest speaks in the voice of duty, but it is often duty misplaced. The most fundamental duty of a living being is to restore itself. To rest is not an indulgence, it is an essential act of maintenance, as vital as breathing. Buddhist teachings on right livelihood and compassionate action always include the necessity of rest. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Honoring your need for sleep is not a neglect of responsibility, it is the foundation for meeting tomorrow's responsibilities with clarity and kindness. So, if the guest of obligation knocks tonight, you can thank it for its concern. Acknowledge its presence. And then kindly tell it, my duty right now is to restore. I will be of better service to everyone, including myself, after I have honored this need. You may sit quietly in the corner, but I am going to sleep. You are not abandoning your post. You are fortifying the soldier so the battle, if there is one, can be met with strength tomorrow. I remember a master carpenter who built beautiful, enduring furniture. He was never rushed. I asked him his secret. He said, for every hour I work with the wood, I spend 10 minutes simply oiling and caring for my tools. If I skip that, my tools grow dull, my work becomes forced, and the wood fights me. The care of the tool is not separate from the work. It is the most important part of the work. Your mind and body are your primary tools for engaging with life. This time of rest is not separate from your life, it is the essential oiling, the careful sharpening, the respectful maintenance. You are not avoiding your work. You are doing the foundational work of care. See this time as sacred maintenance, and the guilt of obligation will lose its power over you. Now, let's explore a potent metaphor, the mind as a loyal but overzealous guard dog. This dog's job is to protect you. It barks at every sound, every shadow, past regrets, future worries, present discomforts. It believes it is keeping you safe by keeping you alert. But you are in your home, in your bed, and there is no real danger. The dog is barking at phantoms. Trying to shout at the dog to be quiet only makes it more agitated. It thinks your shouting is you joining in the alarm. The Buddhist approach is different. You don't engage with the barking. You don't argue with the dog. You simply recognize, the protective instinct is activated. Then, you project a deep, calm, unwavering energy of safety. You emanate a feeling of, all is well. Thank you for your service, but you can stand down. You send this not with words, but with the steady, soft quality of your awareness. You are the calm master in the house. Eventually, the dog, sensing no reinforcement for its alarm, will stop barking. It will lie down at the foot of your awareness, alert but quiet, trusting that you have the situation under control. Your anxious mind is that dog. Don't yell at it. Surround it with the silent, powerful certainty that in this moment, you are safe. Your safety is not an idea, it is the palpable reality of being supported, breathing, and alive. Finally, let's practice a brief body scan with a twist. We won't scan to relax, but to appreciate. Bring your attention gently to the crown of your head. Instead of looking for tension to release, simply feel the aliveness there. The subtle hum of existence. Thank your head for holding your thoughts, your dreams, your vast awareness. Now, let that attention drift down to your eyes. Feel the incredible gift of sight, now resting behind closed lids. No need to see, just to be. Thank your eyes. Let the attention drift to your cheeks, your jaw. Feel the weight of your face being fully supported by the pillow. There is nothing your face needs to do, no expression to hold. It can simply be a landscape of sensation. Thank it for its constant, silent work. Move down to your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Feel the profound relief of limbs that are not required to hold, to carry, to do. They are on a sacred holiday. Thank them for their service. Let this grateful attention drift through your chest, your belly, your back, your hips, your legs, all the way down to your feet. At each stop, don't fix, just feel and appreciate. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a miracle of life, temporarily at rest. This practice of grateful inhabitation tells your whole being, you are enough. You are welcome here. You may rest. And a system that feels welcomed and enough has no reason to stay on guard. Let's talk about space. Not outer space, but inner space. The mind, when restless, feels crowded, cluttered, packed tight with thoughts bumping into each other. There's no room to breathe. Buddhist meditation often begins with an awareness of the body, but its deeper purpose is to rediscover the space within the body, and the vast space of awareness that contains the body. You are not just the form you inhabit. You are also the spaciousness in which that form appears. When you identify only with the crowded thoughts, you feel suffocated. When you remember the space that holds them, you can breathe again. Feel into that right now. Instead of focusing on the thoughts themselves, feel the gaps between them. The silent pause after one thought dissolves and before the next one forms. That pause is a doorway into spaciousness. It may be tiny, just a fraction of a second. But in that fraction, there is pure, open potential. Rest there. Don't rush to fill it. Let that pause be a little vacation from the story. As you pay more attention to the pauses than to the thoughts, something magical happens. The pauses begin to lengthen. The space expands. And in that expanding space, the thoughts lose their urgency. They become smaller, quieter, like distant stars in a vast night sky. You are not the stars. You are the sky. I remember sitting in a vast, empty cathedral very late at night. The vaulted ceiling disappeared into darkness. My footsteps echoed in the immense silence. A single candle flickered far away at the altar. In that grandeur, my personal worries, which had felt so large and solid in my small room, shrank to nothing. They were swallowed by the space. They didn't matter anymore. I wasn't meditating on my problems, I was being meditated by the space. The cathedral didn't solve anything, it simply provided a container so vast that my troubles could not fill it. Your awareness is that cathedral. It is not small or personal. It is vast, echoing, and capable of holding any thought, any feeling, without being defined by it. Tonight, remember your true architecture. You are not the flickering candle of a single worry. You are the boundless cathedral that holds the light, the dark, and all the silence in between. Now, let's consider the power of gentleness. We often approach our minds with a kind of internal violence. We want to crush anxiety, fight insomnia, break bad habits. We use the language of war against ourselves. This approach creates an inner civil war, and no one can sleep through a battle. Buddhism emphasizes ahimsa, non-harm, and it applies first and foremost to your own inner world. Can you meet your restless mind with the same gentleness you would offer a frightened animal? Not with strategy, but with a soft, steady presence. When a wave of frustration arises because sleep isn't coming, instead of adding to it with more frustration, try a different response. Place a hand gently on your heart. Feel the warmth of your own touch. Breathe into that point of contact. This simple, physical gesture of self-kindness interrupts the cycle of war. It signals a truce. It says, I am here with you, even in this. We are not fighting. We are waiting together, kindly. This gentleness is not weakness. It is the most powerful force there is, because it disarms the conflict at its source. A mind met with gentleness has nothing to push against, and so it can finally relax. I learned this from watching a master falconer train a young bird. The bird was all panic and flapping, terrified of the glove, the hood, the jesses. The falconer didn't force it. He didn't yell or make sudden movements. He simply sat, for hours, with his gloved hand extended, perfectly still, breathing slowly. His energy was one of infinite patience and calm invitation. Eventually, exhausted from its own fear, the hawk looked at the steady, unmoving glove. It saw it not as a threat, but as a possible perch. A place to rest. It hopped on. The training wasn't about domination, it was about offering such unwavering, gentle stability that the bird's own nervous system chose to settle. Your restless mind is that young hawk. Your gentle, patient awareness is the falconer's glove. Stop chasing the mind. Stop trying to hood it. Just extend the steady perch of your presence, and wait. Without a fight to sustain it, the mind will eventually choose to land, and rest. We often hear, live in the present, but what does that truly mean for a restless mind? It doesn't mean forcing yourself to only think about this moment. It means noticing when you have left it. The present moment is not a thought. It is a sensory reality. It is the feeling of the sheet against your skin, right now. The temperature of the air in your nostrils, right now. The faint sound in the distance, right now. The present is always here, abundantly rich, and completely undramatic. Your mind leaves it for the dramatic, stressful, compelling stories of past and future. The practice is simply to notice the departure, and to return. Not with a sigh of failure, but with the quiet satisfaction of a shepherd noticing a sheep has wandered and gently guiding it back to the flock. Each return is a victory of peace over drama. Think of your awareness as a homing beacon, broadcasting the signal of here and now. Your thoughts are satellites that sometimes drift out of range, picking up signals from yesterday or tomorrow. When you notice the signal has grown fuzzy, filled with static from another time, you don't need to panic. Just gently recalibrate your receiver. Tune back to the home frequency. The home frequency is the hum of aliveness in your body, in this instant. It's always broadcasting. You just have to choose to listen. Let me offer you a final, simple practice for this part of our journey. It's called dropping the stone. Imagine you are holding a smooth, heavy stone in your hand. This stone is all your accumulated effort from the day, the effort to think, to perform, to be. It is dense and real. Feel its weight in your mental hand. Now, in your imagination, walk to the edge of a very still, very deep pond. The water is dark and calm. Without ceremony, simply open your fingers and let the stone drop. Watch it fall through the air and break the surface of the water with a soft plop. See the ripples expand in perfect circles, wider and wider, until they reach the shore and dissipate. Then, watch the stone itself, sinking slowly, turning end over end, drifting down through the clear, dark water until it comes to rest on the soft, muddy bottom. It is still there. But it is no longer in your hand. You have surrendered its weight to the depths. The pond absorbs it without a struggle. Your mind is that pond. You can drop the stone of your effort into it, and the mind knows exactly what to do. It will absorb the weight, let the ripples of adjustment pass, and return to stillness. You don't have to do anything else. Just let the stone fall, and trust the water. Let's explore the nature of resistance itself. What are you actually resisting when you can't sleep? Is it the thoughts? The wakefulness? Often, it's something more subtle. You are resisting the present moment experience of not being asleep. You've decided that, being awake in bed, is a problem, a state of failure, and so every second spent in that state is met with an inner grimace, a subtle, no. This resistance is like pushing against a door that is already open. You exhaust yourself straining against nothing but your own effort. Buddhism teaches that freedom is found not in getting what you want, but in ending the war with what is. So, what if you stopped resisting the experience of lying awake? What if you granted it full permission to be exactly as it is? This doesn't mean you like it. It means you ceased the internal argument. You dropped the lawsuit against reality. You might say to yourself, all right. This is what is happening right now. I am awake. My body is resting. My mind is active. This is the current configuration of the universe. In that allowing, a profound shift occurs. The energy you were using to fight the experience is suddenly freed. That energy becomes available for simple presence, or it simply dissipates, leaving behind a natural calm. Often, paradoxically, sleep rushes into the space left behind when resistance leaves. I remember being caught in a sudden, torrential downpour while hiking. There was no shelter. My first reaction was to tense up, to hurry, to curse my luck, to resist the soaking. I was miserable. Then, I just stopped. I stood still in the middle of the trail, let my shoulders drop, and looked up at the sky. The rain was cold and insistent. But the moment I stopped resisting it, something changed. It was just rain. It was just water. I was already wet. The struggle vanished. I even began to laugh. The walk back was completely different, not comfortable, but peaceful. I was no longer at war with the weather. Your wakefulness is that rain. You can't stop it by tensing against it. But you can stop the war. You can let it be, and in that letting be, find a strange, soaked peace. And from that place of truce, the clouds often part on their own. We must also speak about the myth of the quiet mind. Many people have an image of meditation or sleep as a state where thoughts stop entirely. When thoughts continue, they feel they are failing. This is a cruel and unrealistic standard. The brain thinks. That is its nature, just as the heart beats. The goal of Buddhist practice is not thought stopping. It is freedom from the tyranny of thought. It is the change in the relationship. A thought can arise, and you can simply think, "Thank you for sharing," and return to the breath. You don't have to board the train of thought just because it pulled into the station. You can watch it pull away again, empty. The silence you seek is not the absence of mental noise, but the quiet confidence that you are not obligated to that noise. That silence exists between the thoughts, underneath the thoughts. It is the canvas, not the painting. Seek that canvas, and you will find it is already here, perfectly quiet, regardless of the painting's activity. Think of your mind as a busy kitchen in a great restaurant. The chef, your thinking self, is shouting orders, pans are clanging, timers are beeping. It's chaotic. Now, imagine stepping out the back door into the alley. Just a few feet away, it is suddenly quiet. You can still hear the kitchen noise, but it's muffled, distant. You are no longer in it. You are in the cool, quiet air of the alley. You can still hear the chef if you listen for him, but you don't have to. You can just breathe the night air. That alley is always accessible. That step through the door is the shift from being in your thoughts to being aware of your thoughts. It's a small shift in perspective with a monumental difference in experience. Tonight, when the kitchen gets loud, remember the back door. Take that one mental step into the alley of awareness. The noise doesn't have to stop for you to find peace. You just have to change your location within your own mind. Now, let's use a metaphor of light. When you focus a beam of light on something, it illuminates it, makes it prominent, gives it importance. Your attention is that beam of light. When you shine it on a worry, you illuminate it, you give it energy and importance. The worry grows in the spotlight. Buddhist practice is about softening that spotlight into a diffused lantern. Instead of a harsh beam focused on one problem, you allow a gentle, widespread glow to illuminate the whole field of your experience, the breath, the body, the sounds, the space, the worry itself as just one object among many. In this diffused light, nothing is singled out for special alarm. Everything is held in the same gentle glow. The worry, no longer spotlighted, loses its dramatic intensity. It becomes just another shape in the room. Try it now. Feel your attention as a light. Is it a tight, focused beam drilling into a thought? Now, imagine that light softening, spreading out from your forehead and chest to fill your whole body, then the whole room. Let it become a dim, ambient glow that touches everything equally. In this soft light, sensations become gentle. Thoughts become faint shadows moving at the edges. There is nothing to fight, because nothing is sharply defined enough to fight. You are resting in a bath of gentle awareness. This is the light of acceptance, and it is the most soothing light there is. I will share a story about two ponds. The first pond was small and clear. Every day, children would come and skip stones across it. Each stone created ripples that crashed into the banks, churning up mud until the water was cloudy and disturbed. It took hours for the pond to settle. The second pond was much larger, deeper, and fed by a slow spring. Children skipped stones here too. The ripples would spread out, but they would travel so far they simply dissolved into the vastness of the pond before they ever reached the shore. The water remained clear and still. A single stone couldn't disturb its depth. Are you the small pond or the large one? A thought is a skipped stone. If your awareness is small and shallow, that thought will churn you up, cloud your clarity, and you'll spend hours settling. But if you cultivate a sense of vast, deep awareness, connected to the eternal spring of pure being, then thoughts can come. The ripples will spread out and vanish into your vastness before they can ever disturb your peace. You remain clear and still. Tonight, practice being the large, deep, spring-fed pond. Let the stones of thought land, and know your depth is greater than any ripple they can make. Finally, consider the difference between trying to sleep and preparing a nest for sleep. One is an act of aggressive wanting. The other is an act of tender, skillful creating. You are the bird, and this bed is your nest. A bird doesn't lie in its nest demanding that sleep come. It carefully arranges the twigs, it turns around a few times to make a perfect hollow, it settles its feathers, and then it rests. It trusts that sleep will visit a body that has made itself ready. Your practice tonight is to prepare the nest. Fluff the pillow of your intention. Arrange the twigs of your limbs comfortably. Settle the feathers of your attention by smoothing them toward gratitude and soft awareness. Make a perfect hollow of surrender in the center of your being. Then, simply rest in the beautifully prepared nest. Your job is done. Now, you are just a bird, trusting the night. We now arrive at the simplest truth, the one that has been here all along, waiting beneath every technique, every story, every breath. There is nothing you need to do. There is nowhere you need to go. There is no one you need to become. All the guidance, the metaphors, the gentle instructions, they were like signposts along a path in a dark forest. They were not the forest. They were not the night. They were not your home. Their only purpose was to point the way until you could walk on your own. And now, you are here. You have walked to the edge of the clearing. The signposts fade behind you. Ahead is only the open, silent meadow of the night. Buddhism, in its deepest essence, points to this, the end of seeking. The mind that seeks sleep is the very barrier to sleep. The mind that seeks peace keeps peace at a distance. But when seeking ends, what remains is what was always present. Not a special state of bliss, but the ordinary, profound fact of being. Unadorned. Unimproved. Complete. In this moment, you are not being asked to understand anything. You are not being asked to remember a teaching or apply a method. Even the beautiful, powerful idea of letting go can now be released. Letting go implies there is something to let go of. When you look deeply, you may find there is nothing truly being held. There is only the open hand of awareness, and the sky of experience passing through it. No grip. No need to release a grip that does not exist. What remains is simply this, the gentle hum of existence. The soft rhythm of a heart that beats without your permission. The slow tide of a breath that flows in and out like the ocean kissing the shore, endless, effortless. The weight of a body being perfectly supported by the earth. This is not poetry. This is the literal, physical reality of your life right now. You do not need to witness your own transition into sleep. Sleep does not require an observer. In fact, the observer is the final veil. When the witness rests, sleep is already here. You do not need to know the moment you cross over. There is no crossing. There is only a gentle blending, a softening of edges, a merging with the darkness that has been patiently holding you all along. If the words have become just sounds, let them be sounds. If the voice has become part of the ambient dark, let it blend. If meaning has dissolved into pure sensation, let it dissolve. There is no test to pass. No depth to achieve. The body knows its own depth. The nervous system knows its own rhythm of repair. These are ancient processes, older than thought, wiser than worry. They operate in the sacred dark without any light of awareness needed. You are not in charge. And this is not a loss of power. It is the ultimate homecoming. It is the relief of returning to the family of things, to the rhythms of nature that also turn the stars and open the flowers. You are not separate. You are not alone in your rest. The entire universe rests with you. The quiet of your room is part of the great quiet of space. The stillness of your body is part of the deep stillness at the heart of all matter. So now, let everything be as it is. Let the breath breathe itself. Let the heart beat its own rhythm. Let the body sink into the embrace of gravity. Let the mind be whatever it is, a faint whisper, a silent stream, a blank page. You do not need to return to yourself, because you never left. The idea of a self to return to was just another story the mind told to make sense of the vastness. That story can end now. In the quiet, there is no need for a main character. There is only this. This breath. This darkness. This infinite allowance. The night is complete. It holds you without instruction. The work of restoration is already underway in every cell, directed by an intelligence far beyond the thinking mind. You are not the director. You are the beloved guest, being cared for in the silent hospice of the night. Allow your awareness to dim now, without any concern. Allow the sense of listening to soften back into the silence from which it arose. Allow the sense of you to be gently absorbed into the rest that surrounds it. There is nowhere to go. Nothing to do. No one to be. Rest continues on its own, deep, quiet, and whole. Let the silence carry you now. Let the darkness hold you. Let the night finish its perfect, wordless work.